Welcome back, YouTube. General Soul back with Persona 3 Portable. And it's time for our Tartarus run. So just like with the last one, I'll show you important things. I will show you how to do the battles, point out enemies you need to kill for challenges, for requests, and the bosses. So right here we have, what are these called? Bronze dice, weak to lightning. Generally, just about any dice enemy is weak to lightning. So, yeah, we finally got Mitsuru in the party. She uses ice, and when we get her, she already has Bufula. Bufula is a stronger version of Bufu. So essentially she has a weak ice spell, a multi-targeting ice spell, and a stronger ice spell, along with some other stuff. Mitsuru focuses mostly on ice and conditions. Oh, another thing to speak on with the party members. When they level up and gain skills, they'll eventually, once you got 8 skills, if you get a new skill, it needs to replace something else. You do not get control on what skill they replace. They're going to do it themselves. Generally, they're going to replace the skills you want them to replace, but there may be a skill or two they're like, I'd like them to keep this. If the game doesn't want them to, they're not going to have it at in-game. So our goals for this run is to reach floor 64. We need to reach at least level 24 for a persona we're going to need. There are 3 people to rescue. And we're doing request number 9, which is collect bronze figures from bronze dice. So those first enemies we faced. Make sure you have that request or they won't drop. 3 snake scales from lustful snakes, and I'll point those out when we get to them. If you didn't have 2 turquoise to make the googly-eyed idol, get them here. They bronze dice, dark eagles, and steel gigas will drop those. And when you get to floor 64, get the old document 3. And there is request 22 to make a Vetala with Maragi. We will be doing all of that. As far as money, we want at least 100,000 yen. We're going to make a lot more than that. We are going to be getting a trophy this video because this will be our first time trying to rescue people. The first time you rescue someone, you will get the trophy Seize the Day. So this was another 3-hour session in Tartarus that I'm cutting down to 45 minutes by cutting out the exploration. Again, the only reason I'm doing that is because the dungeon itself is randomly generated. What I get for Tartarus, you may not get. You'll get something completely different. Chest locations will be completely different. The only thing that's going to be the same is what enemies you can face. But where those enemies are will be different for you than they are for me. So we start getting level 3 cards. Again, as I stated first time we came here, your priority should be get personas that you need. If you don't need personas anymore, then okay, these are the lustful snakes right here. They are red shadows. So we need 3 scales from those. But anyway, as I said, if you don't need a persona, if it's an option, get the sword card for weapons that you can sell for a lot of money. If there's no sword card, get money. Get the coin for money. If there's no coin, if there's no money and no sword, go for the leaf for experience. And if there's none of those, then you can go for the cup, which will heal either just you or your party, depending on how the number card it is.
There's one enemy. Give me a sec. I'll scan the
All
target.
right, so here's us another one of these beetles. This beetle, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, is weak to lightning. Yeah, and of course, who just went? The guy who has lightning. So we got a bunch of joke weapons on everybody right now. So, in fact, the only one who never gets a joke weapon that I've ever seen is Mitsuru. So Yukari has a high chance of making an enemy rage. I believe that Akihiko's joke weapon makes them panic, if I'm remembering. And my joke weapon, I believe, puts them in distress. Oh, there's a gold shadow. So, we don't have to get a gold shadow for a request. It's a treasure hand that we've had before. And the only reason I'm really showing you this fight here is not because it's a new enemy, because it's the same one we faced last time we were here, but to show that they do drop Neil weapons. So we got a Neil bow, which means we can go to the antique store, trade a persona with it, and get a new weapon. Now, whenever in-game, we get to the in-game part, the type of Neil weapon doesn't matter. It's the persona. But for right now, if we trade a persona with a Neil bow, we're going to get a new bow for Yukari. Alright, so these enemies obviously are weak to fire and ice. You can tell because they have lightning and wind scales. They're just the opposite of the ones that had fire and ice scales, and they were weak to wind and lightning. Now, obviously, the main reason we need to get to level 24 is for the Vitala. It requires level 24. So here's a Steel Gigas, or Hulk Hogan. Some of these enemies I may have faced before, but I'm showing them to show you that, yeah, we got these enemies on this trip to Tartarus as well. Anyway, this guy's weak to electricity, so give him a shock. All out attack him. Very, very simple. And again, I know I'm probably going to get a question. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. If you haven't paid attention to the walkthrough, or this is your first video of the walkthrough, I will be using all party members. I go by who's lowest level. And when we got Mitsuru, she is the lowest level. She's at least 2 levels below everyone else. Alright, so this is a case of where we rescue someone. The moment we take them back to the first floor, because you get the option to just take them back to the first floor anyway, seize the day pops. So that's a trophy. Now, obviously, again, I already have the trophy because I did that whenever I played the male protagonist. But I'm letting you see that you can get the trophies if you decide to play female first. Alright, so we do have a couple of requests to turn in now. And we can make some personas up to level 22. So I'm looking at my guide for making personas, taking a look and see what we got here. I'm looking for, well, there's a pyro jack that we're going to need. So, not making the pyro jack because it's new. I'm making the pyro jack because combining it with one that I have already will make a new persona. And especially now that we've maxed out Magician, this bastard's going to be really good. Completely finished. I decide to go ahead and register that pyro jack. And in the meantime, when we did that, I did not think that I had 5 bronze figures. So that's why I didn't immediately go to request. I didn't think that I'd finished it. So that was a nice surprise. And we get a Sigma drive. That is our first accessory. The Sigma drive... Oh, we completed another one. We got the snake scales too. Okay. Sigma drive lessens the odds of you getting hit by a critical hit by just a little bit. So for the lustful snake scales, we get money. Alright, so I'm going to register that pyro jet. Well, probably register this too. Yeah, it's just closer to the next level. Pyro jack, that is definitely going to be much better because the one before was 2 levels lower. We didn't have everything. Take it. And these 2 are ones we just picked up. Okay, so we made that pyro jack because we combined that with an Oberon to make a Mithra. Should get 2 or 3 levels with a Mithra. We did some temperance work, so got eerie sound. Alright, we got my Bufu card. Alright, cool. Now we need to make our other persona. Now this other persona is a little picky. I'm looking to see if maybe I've got one where I can make it that my guide does not show me, but it really doesn't look like it. Either that, or I'm also looking to make a persona that can be used to make him, and it doesn't look like I have that option, so we're going to have to buy some. So, which one did I go with? Jack Frost. And Slime. Alright, so we combine Jack Frost and Slime. My guide is wrong. This happens every once in a while. Because the guide says if we combine these 2, we can make the new persona, and that is not what we are getting. So, might need to try a triangle. I just gotta make... I'm just gonna have to get rid of some personas, So yeah, I'm really sitting there, I'm studying the guide, and I'm like, okay, this is what it says, but that's wrong. So, I am now looking to see if I can make some personas that I'm going to need for a triangle fusion. And then I'm going to just end up getting rid of some of these low levels to make room if I can't. So I think at this point I'm kind of looking at some of the lower levels that are under 20. Yeah, I'm looking at them to see if I can make something, anything that I don't already have. So yeah, so right now I'm just looking to see what can I make that I don't already have. Priority is personas that I need, and whenever I realize I can't make what I need, I'm going to just make personas that I don't have to make room so that I can purchase the 3 personas I'm going to use for the triangle. So especially now I'm looking to see, what can I combine with that won't make something that I already have. Now there is a well-known site that has fusion. It's got a Persona 3 fusion calculator. I have noticed that that thing has been wrong a lot, so I'm using a different site. Alright, so for this one, we want S.E.E.S. We got a principality. So we made a principality, we want an Alp. Those 3 combine. Shh. I accidentally backed out, did not mean to. Triangle. These bottom 3 make Legion. There we go. I was going to say, if that doesn't work, then I got to come back whenever I can make the Vatala. Kind of mad that the Slime and Jack Frost didn't work. I think I see what happened there, because this one has them listed together, but then it also has them listed in a triangle with the Vatala. How can that thing do a sexy dance? I don't know. Alright, so that is all personas we can make right now. Now I'm just specifically looking at some low levels to try and make stronger personas out of them. Just to make some room. And do I really want to do that? I guess I did. So yeah, other than just making new personas, sometimes you'll see me make some personas just to make some room. Alright, so this one's full. I'm not a fan of conditions at all. Not in this game, at least. I would rather just outright do damage to an enemy than do a condition. Alright, so I'm just looking to see if there's anything I can make to make some room. It doesn't look like it, especially not with the triangle. I do kind of want to get rid of that Neko Shogun, even though I'll have to pick him up again if I start working on Akihiko, because it's going to be a while before I get another star persona. But that's that. So we've rescued one person. We've pretty much done all of our requests except for the Vatala and the old document. And here is our first boss room. Our mini boss room, mid-boss room. So activate the teleporter so that you have that for later. And here is our mini bosses. 3 golden beetles. They are strong against physical. They nullify ice, light, and dark. But they are weak to electricity. So unfortunately, I do not have Akihiko with me. So cannot do ice. So essentially, Mitsuru is kind of worthless here. She can do a little bit of damage with her sword, but not much. We can use fire on them. They're not weak or resistant to fire or wind. Okay, so Mazio.
That's it. All right, let's do this.
Okay, so here is one where they will come in, and after you've weakened some, if there's one that's not down, at least they will offer to come in, and it's a guaranteed critical hit. That is completely random how that happens, but it only seems to work when your character is the one attacking. They don't ever combine together, so you're never going to see Yukari and Mitsuru combine for a critical hit. It will always be one of them with you. Alright, so this one should die here. And Zio. Dead. Oh, not dead. Okay. Dead now. But that is floor 47 mini boss. So that means we will start seeing a few new enemies, such as these. Weak to fire, if I'm recalling. Yeah, okay, so my joke weapon panics. Panic means if they try and cast any spells, they can't concentrate. Okay, so they are weak to fire. And there's the weakness with Enrage. They won't use magic, but they will attack twice. And then we have these, what are they called? Crying tables. That, if you can't tell, they're weak to ice. Should be very obvious since there's fire above them. So Mitsuru is a goddess here. Very simple. Thankfully, they made the requests pretty easy. We didn't have to kill any gold shadows. We didn't have to try and hunt a rare weapon. We pretty much got most of our challenges done very, very early. Alright, we have these maniacal books. They, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, they are weak to darkness. And I don't think at this time that I have darkness on me. Yeah, weak to darkness only. Do not do ice, do not do light. So, if you have Mudo, then they are very susceptible to being instantly killed. Then we have these enslaved beasts. I believe they are also weak to Mudo. Unless I'm confusing them with something else that looks like them. It's either that or they're weak to Augie.
It seems like it's weak against
Weak to Augie. Okay, so once it gets back around to me, I will set them ablaze. Now, Yukari is your main primary healer, but as you saw, Akihiko does have Dia, so does Mitsuru. They don't, however, ever get Medea, which will be a party heal. Yukari is your party healer. We will later get a second party healer, but that character is not as good with healing as Yukari. So Mitsuru and Akihiko are decent healers for emergencies, but Yukari is your main healer. Okay, so we are back. We still have some people to find. So we're going to fuse some more personas. We're now at level 23. At level 23, we can actually make our first persona where we got an item to make them. So first off, so I'm quickly giving a quick look at my guide to see what I need to make something. And just kind of running through to see if I can just make something that maybe isn't in the guide. There's one. Titan. You can make Titan a couple of ways with Take Minikata. I don't know why I didn't see it. I think I was probably more obsessed with the other persona. That's exactly what's going on here. Take Minikata can be used to make the Titan, as we saw. And that's not even on my list here of things that I can do. But Take Minikata and Naga can make Impuza. This is one where we had to do a request to be able to make. Okay, so I figure out what I'm doing. I'm trying to not get something that I don't need or get something that I do want. I'd like the Medea. What is it that I'm trying to add on to this thing? I don't need the ice boost. Trying not to get ice boost. Yeah, there's a couple of things that's trying to add that I'm just like, I don't want. Probably Bewilder and Ice Boost. And finally I just said, fuck it. And then I want Medea. So now we need to make a Titan. And since I used my persona that I was going to use to make it, now I need to find another way. So, looking at my guide, I do have several possibilities. And I think I'm going to just buy a couple of personas here. Yep. So, which version is it that we're making? Okay, we're going to do that one. So, Oberon and Naga. So, I'm trying to figure out where Naga is here. There it is. Those two will combine to make Titan. I don't need Ice Boost. So I'm like, who the fuck has Ice Boost? Okay, Oberon does. I don't need Ice Boost. This one will never even use Ice. I don't need Ice Boost. I don't need Ice Boost. I don't need Ice Boost. See, this is my problem. They keep fucking putting like Ice Boost on a persona that doesn't use ice magic. But that is all the new personas we can make right now. So we need to get back to exploring. I think for the most part, all the new personas have been shown. We just need to rescue the last two people. There are 3 people on this trip. So we got that one on floor 45. There is one on floor 51 and one on floor 61. Just taking a look here, so go ahead and accept that. And accept that because we've got everything else. That platinum watch we cannot get right now. I thought that we could have gotten that already. No, we have to wait until the full moon is done. Okay, so these enemies, these are dark eagles. If I'm remembering correctly, they are weak to lightning. So, Aki, of course, we'll probably be told that immediately after Akihiko goes. Yep. Fuck you, game. Although Mitsuru just said, fuck you, you should have let Akihiko kill you. Because he wouldn't have been as cruel as me. So yeah, Zio on those, or Mazio if it's a group. Alright, so I guess I leveled up. Looks like it. Yep, level 24. I think I came back so I could make a Vitala. But there's also this one here. Now, usually you get 2 personas you can make. But here for the next few levels, you can make 3 personas per level. Taki Mizuzuchi is the first one. The next one, then we can also make the Vitala for a challenge. We need it to have Miragi. And the last one you would not be able to make unless you had done requests, because it is one that you had to get an item as a reward to be able to make it, and that is Pale Rider. So right now I'm looking to see if I can make any of them right now. It doesn't look like I can do that with these, but Hawapu can be used to make no, it can't. I'm actually looking at my list here. I'm like, why was I about to do that? Not unless, more than likely what's going on is I'm trying to make room. That's more than likely what's going on here. Or no, I'm checking the triples to see if I can make anything. That's what I'm doing. Because like I said, sometimes, even though this list lists some things, sometimes this is wrong, and sometimes it has some lists that aren't right. There's Vitala. You notice it doesn't have Miragi on it. It's not going to have Miragi on it, but that's fine. I have a card. So we'll leave, we'll put Miragi on it, and then we'll come back and request done. What Disney cartoon did I see this elephant on? It looks like something I would have seen on a Disney cartoon as a kid. Not Dumbo, no. Although the pink elephants, that was nightmare fuel. Of course, the one show that really cartoon that was nightmare fuel was the Pinocchio scene where everyone started turning into donkeys. That was nightmare fuel. Alright, so by making a Vitala with Miragi, we get an item to make another persona later. King Frost is going to be a really good one later. Alright, we're going to go ahead and register you since we got Miragi on you. Now, we need to make Pale Rider. Our best choice is Ares and Mithra. So looking for Mithra. There it is. These two will combine to make Pale Rider. Again, you cannot make Pale Rider unless you've done one of the previous requests that we did before. Looks like we could have used a Vitala too. And this one is going to be pretty good too. And what's funny enough is this is the first time I actually noticed the smoke cloud at its feet. I've made this thing so many times I never noticed the smoke cloud at its feet until I was recording this like, oh, that's cool. How come I never noticed that? Alright, so that is all new personas. The only request we have left to do is get that old document. So I'm showing this loading screen because we were loading back into the next mini boss floor. This is floor 59. We're getting very close to the end. We have one intrepid knight. Do not do physical attacks. It is strong against it. Do not use wind. It drains that, which means it will heal if you hit it with wind magic. Do not try and kill it with light or dark. It is immune. So fire, ice, or electric are the way to go. It is not weak, but it does not resist either. The big thing to worry about with this boss is it uses Hama skills. Hama, if you do not remember, is the light instant death spell. As you see, it has counterattack or counter strike. It's a 30% chance of countering a physical attack. So Yukari just got hit by her own arrow, which then also pissed her off. So there's Bufala. This is a second level ice spell, so it's much stronger than Bufu. And I'm using Zeonga, which is a second level lightning spell, so it's stronger than Zeo. And okay, heal Yukari. So this enemy, it can use a Pierce Strike, Garudine, which is Garudine is the strongest single target wind spell in the game. Can also use Kill Rush, Hama, Mind Charge, which doubles the strength of a magic spell on its next turn. Garula, which is a medium multi-targeting wind spell. Rakukaja, which raises defense. Makarakan, which reflects magic back. So if you use magic on it, while that is up, it will reflect it. Heat Wave, which deals medium strike damage to all foes. Windbreak, which removes a character's wind resistance. So in this case, Yukari resists wind. If it were to use Windbreak on Yukari, she would take normal damage to wind spells. Also has Counter Strike, as we saw. And Sharp Student, which means it has less of a chance of being hit by a critical hit. So yeah, this one is kind of a pain in the ass, as you can see. This one, especially Yukari, really can only heal, because if she gets hit by that counter strike, she gets fucked. She can't use her spells because she heals it. And because of that counter strike, I don't want to just try and go for a critical hit. But then we got it frozen, which gives us a guaranteed critical. Mitsuru is awesome. Queen of Swords. That is one of those stat boosting items that we were talking about before. Save it for in-game.
There's someone on this floor.
Alright, so we are now on floor 61. I guess I just didn't show us getting the personal 51, or I just cut that out. And it was one of the time. That's probably the time that we made the Vitalas. That was probably floor 51. But we did rescue all three. I just didn't show one of them. All right, so we can now make personas at level 25. This was not part of what we needed to do. This is bonus. So again, two personas we can make. And both of them pretty good. Let's see. I'm looking at my little guide here just to see if I quickly have something that I can use. So we can make power. Power is going to be good because it has light skills and comes with wind, and as you see, we also are transferring over lightning and heal. That's going to make this power pretty good. Now the next one we can make, I'm looking to see, there it is, Lamia. This one uses fire. And it also, as you see, we can learn Mamudo, which is a targets all enemies with instant death darkness. As I said before, there is no light and dark spells that just do damage. They are instant death spells in this version. Okay, so at this point now, I think I'm just getting rid of personas of arcanas that I'm not going to need for the next set of social links. Nah, I might actually need this one. Let's see, I don't need justice or strength. I don't need death. Don't think I need fortune right now. Oof, I think I think I'm trying to get rid of my lower levels. Wow, I got rid of Pale Rider to make that. Alright. But then again, I don't need that social link, or that arcana for social links, so yeah, I'm pretty much just trying to get rid of stuff that I don't need to get arcanas that I will need for the next month. Would like to make Genbu, but it's way too powerful. Unlike Reload, you don't get something where you can make personas that are 5 levels higher than you. You have to be at the level. Yeah, pretty much anything that I could make to get rid of the 3 personas I don't need, or the 3 arcanas that I don't need, are going to be too powerful. Alright, so let's register the Titan. I don't need to... Well, we can register the Fortuna. Definitely don't register that. No. Well, I'm kind of like... Because of the Mudo and Mamudo, I want to register it, so I'm giving up the heal. And we have reached the end. This is the final floor, so there's old document 3. So we are done with this run of Tartarus. This took about 3.5 hours for me to finish. So let's turn in the request, fix up any personas that we can, and then we're basically ready for the next full moon, which is coming in the next couple of days. So we get money. So considering we got money for 2 requests and we needed 100,000 minimum so that we could spend it on our activities, I think we did pretty good. And considering we had over 100,000 when we came in, so we'll get the platinum watch after the full moon. The rest of these, don't worry about. So we'll go ahead and cut it here. I'm just going to see if I can get rid of some of these personas that I don't need to make personas that I could use later, or could use for the month. But in the meantime, I will go ahead and stop talking and leave you guys for the end. If you're enjoying the walkthrough, drop a like. Feel free to subscribe for more. If you do feel like making a donation to the cause, there is a link in the description to buy me a coffee. It is not required. It is always appreciated. I was told by someone that that link was broken, but it works perfectly fine for me. So if it's not working for you, let me know. But whenever I test it, it works fine. And I will see you guys next time.